Hey everybody, what's going on? It is James here with Crypto Quick Start. Wanted to shoot a video for you today talking about moving money around, kind of protecting profits and things like that. So one of the hardest lessons that I learned the last 12 months was really the lesson that I learned, from December through March, which is, a lot of people will tell you not to FOMO buy. Don't buy on fear of missing out. Don't buy at all-time highs. But, what no one ever talks about is FOMO holding. Right? You shouldn't hold a coin that is at its all-time high either, right? That's my opinion. So here's the deal with that. I did that, right? I had a bunch of coins. I had, 100,000 Verge that went up to 30 cents, and I FOMO held because, people were talking about it being a $2 coin and a $5 coin and a $10 coin. And I had actually shot some videos that said, hey, I think this is a parabolic blow-off top, and I think we're getting ready to see a major correction. But then I had so many people that told me I was wrong. It got in my head and it shook my confidence, and I thought, well, maybe I am wrong. Maybe we are getting ready to see mass adoption, and maybe my coins are going to be worth millions of dollars. I better not sell. So I didn't sell hardly any of my coins when we were at the top. As a result, my Verge that was worth over $30,000, it fell to 2.9 cents a coin, which fell from 30 grand to about $2,900. Lost 20. It's literally dropped $27,000 on that one coin. I had coins like Stellar that I bought around a little over 3 cents. It went up to 92 cents or 93 cents, a 30x return. I didn't sell any of it. And then it fell all the way back down to 20 cents. I had Tron that was up huge. I didn't sell any of it. I had a coin called Nexus that I bought for around $2. It was up to 15 bucks. I didn't sell any of it. And then a month or two later, it dropped down to like $1. And so on and so forth. I had a bunch of coins I was up 10, 15, 20, 30x on that I didn't sell because I was so worried that I was going to miss out on the millions of dollars coming my way. And then when the correction happened, this big steep correction, one of the reasons I got kind of quiet is because I got depressed. And I got depressed because my portfolio dropped over $100,000. And that is like massive amounts of money to me. I'm not a millionaire, right? That's literally like my annual income, like just gone, right? In a matter of like 2 weeks. So it was really, really difficult. And I had to really step back and say, okay, what did I do wrong? Should I have sold? Is this bad luck? Et cetera, et cetera. And I did a lot wrong last year. I'm really fortunate that, the market was as giving as it was because I did a lot wrong. So one of the things I want to talk about today is, when you're selling a coin that's way up. So I just sold some EOS. I bought quite a bit of EOS back when it was just over $1 a coin. And a lot of people are talking about EOS being a coin that could kill Ethereum, and it could be worth, $100 or $200 or $500 someday. So back in December, that same talk was going around. EOS had went up to right around $19 a coin, which was a little over 15x for me personally. I sold absolutely none of it. Held every bit of my EOS. It was worth about 25 grand or so at the time. And it dropped all the way down to $3 or $4 a token, right? So I lost about 75% of my gains. Again, really upsetting. So EOS took a run up this week, and it got up to $23 yesterday. Unfortunately, I didn't notice it. I've been working like crazy. I've got a trading software that I've started selling back in January, so I've been working on it. I wasn't watching the charts yesterday, and so I didn't notice it hit $23. I knew it was going up, but I didn't notice it got that high. So by the time I saw it, it was back down to 20. And so I was him-hawing around, and I caught myself thinking, I better not sell. It's probably going to be a $100 coin. But I just sold some of it. I sold, I probably should have sold half of it, but I went ahead and I sold 25% of my EOS. But there's a reason I have a spreadsheet showed up. I'm going to point something out to you. I did not convert the EOS to cash. All right. I sold the EOS for right around 0.65 Bitcoin. Okay, so in today's market, Bitcoin is sitting right at 92.89. It was a little higher than that when I sold it. It was right around here. So let's say 9,400. Okay. So if I had taken the US dollars for that, well, I'm not going to be able to do that. Times 0.65 would have been about $6,110. Okay. If I just put that in the bank a year from now, it would be worth obviously $6,110. If I left it in EOS, here's what you have to start looking at. You have to look at comparative returns. if you're going to leave your investment in crypto, you've got to compare the returns. So I put it in Bitcoin. So basically what I'm saying by put it in Bitcoin is I think Bitcoin is a safer investment, or I think Bitcoin is going to grow faster. Okay, I want to show you a couple scenarios real quick, and then this will all make sense. So let's say that I didn't put it in Bitcoin. Let's say that I put it in cash. It'd be worth $6,100 in a year, right? All right, let's say EOS went up to $100 a coin. And I'm just going to tell you, because it's going to be hard to do this video if I don't. I sold 301 EOS. All right, I actually had a little, so it wasn't quite a fourth. It was almost a fourth. All right. So let's say that it went up to $100 a coin. That means that by selling right now, I'm going to miss out on about $24,000. All right, that's how much selling early will cost me if it goes to $100. But here's the thing: by putting it in Bitcoin, watch what happens. 0.65 Bitcoin. Let's say that Bitcoin goes to $40,000. Okay. All right, so you take 40,000 times 0.65. That Bitcoin will be worth 26,000. So again, the EOS, if it hits 100, and I sold 301, we already know that that's $30,100 it would be worth. So if EOS goes to 100 and if Bitcoin goes to 40,000, in reality, I didn't miss out on 30 grand. I didn't miss out on 24 grand. In reality, I'm only going to miss out on about $4,100. That's really what I would be missing out on. Now, again, if Bitcoin stays at around 10,000, you know, obviously I lose a lot more. Or if Bitcoin falls, I lose even more. Right? I could actually lose more money by putting it in Bitcoin. So it really depends on your belief in crypto. Do you think crypto's a bubble? Do you think crypto's going to be here? Do you think Bitcoin is going to be more valuable? You know, or it could have cashed out to Ethereum or any number of coins, right? That's what you have to look at. You have to look at the comparative returns, because watch this. Let's say that EOS becomes a monster and goes to $50 this year. But let's say that Bitcoin rebounds hard and goes to 30,000 this year. Okay, watch this. So 0.65 Bitcoin will be worth 19,500, whereas $50 EOS would only be worth 15,050. So in that case, if that's the scenario that plays out, if EOS becomes a $50 coin by December and Bitcoin becomes a $30,000 coin by December, I'm actually going to be ahead by cashing out to Bitcoin right now. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. All right. That's something that I did not understand last year. I was cashing out last year to fiat all year when I sold a coin, when my coins doubled and I sold half, right? I'm talking before the parabolic rise. All through the year I had done pretty good about when a coin doubled I would sell half for fiat. But then I left that money in fiat. So I didn't gain with the market. I didn't get the market gains, right? If I had just converted everything in Bitcoin all year long, of course I would have gotten all those gains from Bitcoin itself rising, which would have increased my returns by more than 100%, right? Would have doubled my returns. So kind of keep this in mind, because you know a lot of people are calling for $40,000 Bitcoin in 2018. I don't know. I don't make price predictions because, quite frankly, I don't know enough to make a price prediction, right? I watch these markets on a daily basis. I've spent literally thousands of hours trading, but I still have no clue what's going to happen in a month or 2 months or 6 months. I've gotten pretty good about figuring out what I think is going to happen in the next hour or in the next 12 hours, but that's about it. I've not had great success with trying to predict where things are going to be at in 3 or 6 months. But let's say those experts are right and Bitcoin goes to $40,000. I personally think that it's a tall order for EOS to get to $100 a coin. I'm not saying it won't. A lot of really smart people say it will. But I think that's a really tall order. I think it's much more likely that Bitcoin hits 40 grand than it is EOS hits, $85, which is about the break-even point, right? If Bitcoin's 40 grand and EOS hits 87, selling today is roughly a wash. So just keep that in mind. Last year when Bitcoin was $15,000 or $20,000, cashing out to Bitcoin was pretty darn scary. I wasn't a big fan of that, but me personally, with Bitcoin being down around $9,000, it doesn't concern me too much. Now, that's not to say that I don't think it'll pull back. That's not to say that I don't think we're going to have any corrections this year. It very well could pull back. It very well could drop below $9,000. Hell, we could go back down there and test those $5,500 to $6,000 levels. According to the pros out there, there's still some gaps down there in volume that could, end up getting filled this year. So there's no guarantee that Bitcoin won't go down. I just personally believe, and this is my belief, not advice, I personally believe Bitcoin will be more valuable in December than it is now. How much more valuable? I don't know. But I feel better about putting that money in Bitcoin than I do US dollars. I'll tell you that right now. Okay? So I hope this video helps you out. I hope this, a lot of people don't think about these comparisons. A lot of people don't really think in terms of Bitcoin. I know I sure didn't for the first 7 or 8 months I was trading. It wasn't really until November and December when I started trading in Bitcoin pairs that I really started to wrap my head around how all this worked. It's very different from a traditional, like a stock market or a Forex market. So it takes a while to get used to, but once you get used to it, you can kind of help relieve some of your fears, because you can say, well, look, I think Bitcoin's going to be worth, X, Y, Z, and, EOS would have to do this in order to really crush that investment. Not just EOS. I mean, we're using EOS today because that's what I happen to sell, but any coin. You can look at any coin and say, do I think, Bitcoin is more likely to go up 2x, or do I think this coin's more likely to 2x? And you can kind of use that for your investment strategy. So with all that being said, please remember, I am not a professional investment advisor. I'm simply some guy sitting in a spare bedroom, and you should always seek professional investment advice before making any type of investment in cryptocurrency. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you're not already a member of our Facebook group, please feel free to come hang out with myself and 3,700 other cryptocurrency enthusiasts. The group is free. There'll be a link in the description.